Hello everyone, welcome back to another remote sensing lecture video. And in this lecture video I want to continue talking about elevation data. And in the previous video we talked about this difference between above sea level or mean sea level and above ground level. And these are sort of two standard reference points, whether we're referencing this idea of the ocean or whether we're referencing this idea of the ground. So now what I want to do is I want to talk about some specific data set types. And specifically, when we're talking about raster data in terms of elevation, we're talking about this thing called a digital elevation model. Or DEM, right? Digital elevation model. So with the digital elevation model, basically what we're saying is we're creating an image, right? But the image pixel values represent elevation. Right, and I want to be very clear here that we're talking about a different type of data. Right, up to this point, we spent a lot of time talking about this idea of imagery being optical remote sensing, where light was being emitted from the sun, bouncing off a surface, and hitting a sensor that was measuring the amount of light that was reflected, and that was either radiance or percent reflectance, depending on what was done. Right, but in this case, with the digital elevation model, we're talking about pixel values now representing elevation. And I want to be very clear here. This is a different type of remote sensing data. Actually, let me write that in red. This is a different type of remote sensing data. Right, this digital elevation model. And as I said in the sort of intro video, that there are three ways that we can set up digital elevation models. And these are basically defining what they refer to. So the first is going to be a digital surface model. Right, a digital surface model. So a digital surface model, when you're measuring, again, the pixel values represent elevation. What these pixel values represent is the elevation of the Earth. I'm going to put this in a different color. I'm going to put it in all caps. Including surface features. Right, so what does this mean? What are surface features? Well, surface features would be things like buildings, right? Things like trees, right? Basically, things that exist on the above ground, right? So we talked about that above ground level, right? Anything that would have a height above ground level would be a surface feature that would be included in the digital surface model. One other thing with the digital surface model, right, is that this references, right, this is above sea level, right, this is ASL. The digital surface model is above sea level. It's referencing the ocean as the reference point for 0. So that's one way we can do it. The next way we can do it is with what's called a digital terrain model. Or a DTM right, a digital terrain model. So the digital surface model, right, was set up to include elevation, including, again, keyword including, surface features, which are things like buildings and trees. Then the digital terrain model is set up to be the elevation of the Earth. I'm going to put this in all caps and color it again, right? Excluding surface features. Right, digital surface model includes surface features. Digital terrain model excludes surface features. This is a key difference between the two. So digital terrain model also is an above sea level model, right? Because we're still referencing that ocean level as 0. So again, to recap, digital surface model includes surface features. Digital terrain model excludes surface features. So let's go ahead down here and let's take a look at the last type, which is the digital height model. Or DHM. Right, so as the digital surface and the digital height model, right, those were excluding or including surface features. Right, this is the height of surface features. Right, and so if you think about when I say height here, right, again, I said before the height is generally a reference to above ground level. So the DHM is actually the above ground level. Not ABGL, just AGL. Right. The digital height model is the above ground level data. Right, and the way that we get this digital height model is by taking the DSM, right, the digital surface model that we generated, and we subtract out from that the digital terrain model. Right, so this is the height including surface features minus the elevation excluding surface features. That gives us the height of the surface feature, which is the above ground level model. So here again, just to recap, we have the 3 different types of elevation data. All of these are digital elevation models because that's the raster format in which the pixel values represent elevation. And the 3 different types are digital surface model, where we're including surface features, the digital terrain model, where we are excluding surface features, and this digital height model, where we're recording the height of surface features. And this digital height model, again, this is the above ground level data, and it is you get this by subtracting from the DSM the DTM. So you have the surface minus the things that exclude the surface. So hopefully this makes sense, and if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.